This is The Big Question with Dr. Ellie Gonzalez, brought to you by Good News Unlimited, tackling the big questions in a simple and positive way.
And today's big question is, how do you pray? Some years ago, my father died in very sad circumstances. In the days that followed, I was a mess and I needed time to be by myself. So I went and sat beside the sea. I spent a whole day there thinking and praying. And what I most prayed for was joy. And as the words formed in my mind, a pod of dolphins leapt out of the water, just frolicking and playing in the ocean, perhaps 30 or 40 meters away from where I was. For me, that was God telling me that it would be okay. My understanding of how to pray was muddled for many years. That's because I was brought up with the idea that you have to pray in an especially reverent or holy way so that God would approve. So you had to kneel down and you had to include special religious words and phrases that would be right for speaking to God. But now I know better. Think about how you talk to your friends and your loved ones. It's something you do automatically, something you need to do because you have a relationship with these people. It's much the same with God. At its most basic, prayer is conversation with God. You can pray at any time, in any place, and in any circumstance. Another really good way to think about your communication with God is to have an attitude of prayer, in which God is your constant companion throughout the day, whatever you're doing. Even when you're concentrating on other things, you can still be aware of God's presence. So this way, your time with God shouldn't have boundaries at all. There are many examples of how Jesus was always conscious of God's presence. Often while he was teaching or doing something, he'd stop for a moment and speak to his Heavenly Father. I try to do the same thing, and sometimes whether I'm walking or working, or even sometimes when I'm talking to someone in my mind, there's some words that form into a prayer to God. And I believe that this is no less praying than kneeling in the most beautiful cathedral. Our lives can be so demanding that sometimes we forget to stop even to sense our need to spend time with God. But when you realize that God is as essential to your life as food, drink or sleep, you'll want to spend time with Him. Spending quiet time with God will refresh your soul for the demands of life, but most importantly, it will keep you in tune with the real source of your life and purpose. I often go for a walk or sit overlooking the ocean, as I mentioned before. Those are some of my favourite prayer times. You may choose a beautiful place where you can feel at peace. You may need to stay indoors, but you might choose to have beautiful music playing, or you might prefer to have complete silence as you focus on God and your two-way communication with Him. Whatever your situation, make your prayer time special. For me, prayer is never a monologue. It's real conversation.
For more, contact goodnewsunlimited.com.